Hello, everyone, and welcome to Walking Through the Bible. All the way throughout this book, we have been learning why man believes we suffer. Job's friends believe we suffer as God's punishment for sin. For Job, while he admits that man does suffer due to sin, although that suffering may be delayed, Job also believes that the righteous suffer as well, and that is solely based on God's choice as to who suffers and who does not. Both are wrong, at least in part. Job's friends are right in saying that God does punish the wicked, though Job is right in saying that punishment can be delayed. Job is right in saying that the righteous do suffer as well, though he is wrong in saying that such suffering is at the hand of God. In chapter 31, Job is defending his righteousness against the accusations of his friends, while at the same time defending God's right to punish the wicked, which of course he believes he shouldn't be among. Let's see how Job's argument continues. So if you have a Bible with you, you can turn to the book of Job, to chapter 31. We're going to be reading from verses 13 to 28. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Job chapter 31, beginning at verse 13. If I have despised the cause of my male or female servant, when they complained against me, what then shall I do when God rises up? When he punishes, how shall I answer him? Did not he who made me in the womb make them? Did not the same one fashion us in the womb? If I have kept the poor from their desire, or caused the eyes of the widow to fail, or eaten my morsel by myself, so that the fatherless could not eat of it, but from my youth I reared him as a father, and from my mother's womb I guided the widow. If I have seen anyone perish for lack of clothing, or any poor man without covering, if his heart has not blessed me, and if he is not warmed with the fleece of my sheep, if I have raised my hand against the fatherless, when I saw I had help in the gate, then let my arm fall from my shoulder, let my arm be torn from the socket. For destruction from God is a terror to me, and because of his magnificence I cannot endure. If I have made gold my hope, or said to find gold, you are my confidence. If I have rejoiced because my wealth was great, and because my hand had gained much, if I have observed the sun when it shines, or the moon moving in brightness, so that my heart has been secretly enticed, and my mouth has kissed my hand, this also would be an iniquity deserving of judgment, for I would have denied God who is above. In defending himself constantly against the accusations of sin by his friends, Job is not saying that God shouldn't punish the wicked. In fact, throughout his speeches, he has decried what he says are numerous examples of God not punishing the wicked in this life, even though later he amended his arguments by saying that God does punish the wicked, but does so when he sees fit. Job says that if he has done anything worthy of being punished, then he cannot argue with God for punishing him. He is like the Apostle Paul, where in Acts 25, verses 10 and 11, Paul said this. So Paul said, I stand at Caesar's judgment seat where I ought to be judged. To the Jews I have done no wrong, as you very well know. For if I am an offender, or if I committed anything deserving of death, I do not object to dying. But if there is nothing in these things of which these men accuse me, no one can deliver me to them. I appeal to Caesar. There is nothing wrong with God judging sinners, or for government, God's instrument on this earth to punish sinners, to do the same. But Job is saying that his actions are undeserving of punishment. He did not despise his male or female servants, for both him and they are made in the image of God. That statement should bring shivers down the spine of anyone holding prejudice or racist ideas against someone for what skin color they have, what ethnicity they are, or what part of the country they may belong to. Job also cared for the poor, took care of the widow and the orphan, so that their needs were met in whatever way was necessary. Job even goes so far as to say, if he has not done these things, let his right arm fall from his shoulder, and let his arm be torn from his socket. This, of course, is hyperbole, but we can see the point that Job is making. Punish me if I'm lying about these things. Moving on to trusting in God, Job says that he never placed his trust in money to deliver him from the troubles of this life. He was never enticed by, nor has he even gloried in it. He worshipped God, placed his trust in God, and was thankful for what God had blessed him with. If this were not so, then Job was deserving of punishment, for covetousness was evil. In saying these things, again, Job is saying that he is not deserving of punishment by God. But again, what Job is suffering through is not punishment for sin, and it is not by the hand of God. This suffering is done at the hand of Satan in order for Satan to try to prove to God that his creation will only worship him in good times and not in bad times. Satan wants to draw people unto himself to prove that people are just like him, in the hopes that God won't punish him for his actions, for if he did, he would have to punish people who were made in his image. God is using Job's suffering to prove Satan wrong and actually strengthen Job's faith, but he did not cause Job's suffering. That is something we need to remember when we suffer as well. God can punish us for sin, but not all suffering is because of sin. If our suffering is, repent and return to God. If it is not, endure, remembering our hope is in heaven. We'll conclude Job's thoughts, the Lord willing, in the next lesson. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Job chapter 31, verses 29 to 40, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. We thank you for watching Walking Through the Bible today. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. But if you like this video, we ask that you consider subscribing to our channel so you won't miss out on other videos in our series, as well as share this video among your friends so that the saving message of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.